While the rest of the world has been experiencing chaos, you have been hidden away in your own secret little fairy realm. You may live in a natural environment, you may live even in the city, but wherever you are, wherever you're meant to be located at this time of the ascension and the timeline shift, your reality is contained within this enchanted fairy tale bubble. You may be able to see the world outside. You may even be able to go outside if you please. However, what I'm hearing is that you have not been outside in quite some time, maybe some weeks, maybe some months. You have been hidden away in your little fairy bubble. You have this little pocket dimension all to yourself. And in this little pocket dimension, I hear that you have been mostly at home tending to your garden, literally and figuratively. You have been taking care of your body, nourishing yourself with herbs and natural products. I hear you've been changing the way you live your life in this little bubble of yours. It's almost as if the rest of the world has completely disappeared. It seems so far away, even though it's right out your front door. It's right there. You can literally go out there and touch it. But inside this little fairy bubble, it's its own world. It's its own dimension. You have your space decorated, and it's as if the rest of the world doesn't exist out there at all. It doesn't even look like it's out there because you live in your own little beautiful dimension that you've decorated and you're making just so. Maybe you're working on refining your home space, your living space. Maybe you are enjoying the process of decorating, I'm hearing. Maybe you're not finished with the decorations and you're just now getting into adding details to your little space, okay? So you're decorating your little dimension right now, okay? This dimension of yours may have started out as maybe like a blank slate. Maybe you were moved to a different location recently, maybe within the past months or years, okay? Maybe you lived in one place and maybe you moved to a new place. And in this new place, you are decorating it, starting from scratch because it was empty. And I heard redecorating, so maybe for some of you, you didn't move to a new place. Maybe you are redecorating the space that you are in and changing the energy of the space that you currently live in. Okay, so either way, the same holds true. You are changing the energy and refining the energy of your fairy bubble that you're in right now. Okay, so maybe you have been making your life more like the life that you had always imagined before your awakening and before your timeline shift. Maybe now you're finally able to do those things. You don't have to work like the other humans, okay? You don't rely on money and jobs and the hustle lifestyle of the matrix in order to survive. You are a different creature altogether. You're a fairy being. You're a divine being. You are an earth angel. You are a very unique creature. You may have lived your life in such a way that was very confusing to people. Maybe people wondered, how do you do these things? You don't seem like you have any money. You're not rich. So how do you have the things that you have? How are you able to do the things that you're able to do? How are you able to travel around and seemingly enjoy yourself? And that's not to say that these lifestyles didn't come with their challenges, collective. You may have found ways to live without money, but that's a very challenging thing to do in this matrix. But whatever the case may have been for you, the point is that you were very successful in learning how to live an alternative lifestyle because you're a fairy and you don't have to live like these humans. Like I said before, you can't live like these humans. In fact, you're not built that way. It's not possible for you. It's literally confusing and bewildering and bizarre for you to try to live like a human. So you actually had to find other ways to live. And you did that. And so now, in your fairy bubble, instead of trying to find alternatives to surviving in the human world, I'm seeing that you are now learning how to live like a fairy. You are free now, okay? You may be in this fairy dimension that you've been in isolation. Maybe you don't talk to very many people. You no longer have friends from the human world. You have really been in isolation and alone or with very, very few people for quite some time. But I am hearing that you are absolutely loving every second of this. This is what you have always wanted. The noise of the matrix is no longer around you. You don't have to deal with the stress and the headache and the BS of living inside the matrix. Now you get to hear the sounds that you want to hear. You get to see the things that you want to see for the most part, right? Obviously, we still live in the matrix to the extent that it still exists around us. We still have to go out in it. But we have limited our exposure to the matrix to such a degree. So, like I said earlier, it's almost as if it doesn't even exist anymore. It seems very, very far away. And so, you have been enjoying the quietness and the solitude of this fairy dimension that you have found yourself existing in for all this time. It is peaceful in there. It is calm in there. It is a sanctuary that you have created for yourself. This beautiful fairy sanctuary is going to carry you to the next stage of your ascension, I'm hearing. So continue enjoying this beautiful space that you've been creating. I'm seeing you enjoying dressing up, cooking beautiful meals, enjoying tea and baths, doing your hair, enjoying doing your little chores around the house. All these little things that people take for granted have become really important and major achievements for you in your life. And I said earlier about having a garden, and I see that very clearly in this vision that I have before me here. Much of the collective has been tending to their garden, and that has been the most important part of this fairy dimension that you've been in. The fairies highly value our gardens in our world. Our gardens are more than just food and sustenance. They are little environments that we create for ourselves to live in. We invite the plants, the trees, the fruits, the berries, the flowers, which then in turn invite the birds and the insects and all the creatures that are going to live in this environment with us. So gardening is not just about planting food to survive. Gardening is about creating an environment in order for you to enjoy and in order for all the creatures that you invite and steward and tend to, for all of them to enjoy as well. So continue tending to that beautiful garden of yours, collective.